wipe off my camera here. A little dirty here. Good morning and welcome to the second hour of TheoTRADE. I am Professor Jeff Bierman. I'm broadcasting you live from Chicago, and today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday, you would think. August 30th, 2024. Good morning, TheoTRADE members. Now, I'm going to give you some commentary on the market that diverges a little bit away from Don. We don't always agree on everything, which is what makes a market. And regardless of whether he agrees or not, I'm going to say it anyways because I'm just an honest person. But before I go into the color commentary, a couple of things. Housekeeping here. We got a good program today. I started a program yesterday. It's 4 days. It's just so much to unpack about AI. AI, NVIDIA, and Oracle, and Dell, and it's this driving server. Oh, goodness. I would bet 90% of the investing public has no idea really what AI even is. It's a word, and it's a thought. But I wanted to do a deep dive. So we're going to do part 2 of Attack of the Clones, profiling the rise of artificial intelligence. Yesterday, all I did was give a little blurb and define artificial intelligence, and then spent the entire time on the timeline of artificial intelligence, which actually goes back to Greek times. It didn't start in 1950. It actually started in Greek times, and it makes quantum leaps all throughout eons in history up until the present moment. You have the AI winter, not once, but twice. You had funding fallout, and now it's gained traction. Now it's gained mainstream. Now it's a pillar, a part of the entire world workforce, technology, way of life. What do we do today? Okay, we're going to talk about different types of applications of AI. Then on Monday, or pardon me, Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday, we're going to get into a little bit about statistics and companies who are responsible for AI. And then the final day, we're going to talk about ethics. Ethics. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly about AI? That's what we're intending to do. That is my goal. That's my game plan here. Now, in the meantime, let me give you some color on the market today. I've got about 10 minutes. Okay. I'm going to show you, I made an adjustment to one of my indicators. I didn't do it to curve fit. I did it to show you that sometimes adjusting indicator inputs will help you get your timing down better. Now, the S&P 500 is in what's called no man's, no woman's land, equal opportunity employer here. Okay. The MACD is not even that flat. Is it above the, just ask this question, because this is never wrong, you are. Is it above the zero line? Then it's a bullish trend. See, that's why it's going up. Okay. Is the MACD above the zero line? Okay, it's bullish momentum. So now you have bullish momentum and you have bullish trend. Is the MACD rolling over and doing the lip curl? It's not. It's actually flattening out to pivot higher. That's why it's up. That's why. I don't think, I know. I wouldn't short this. I won't do it. Now, if you want to short it, you go for it. I have never made money shorting a MACD that goes up. Never. 36 years. I have millions of dollars of losses to show all of you. It doesn't work. You have to wait until it curls. It goes flat or curls. It's not even flat. Like, I'm going to zoom in for you. Zoom, 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 zoom. It's not flat. It's actually pivoting upward. How about the RSI? It's gaining a little traction, but not enough to run. Here is where I made the adjustment on the Stoke to turn it from a 10-10 to a 5-5. Why? Are you an intraday trader? Are you a Tony Rago devotee or a Corey Rosenblum disciple? This will help you immeasurably understand why that sucker is not coming down the entire day. Zero. Put it on an hourly. The hourly will smooth it out and get you rid of all the kinks, okay? Watch carefully what I'm going to teach you, because I teach this for a dang living. See how the hourly is barely bullish. That's why that's not running away. This is going to go up 50. No, it's not. It's not going to go up more than 10 from here. But it ain't going to go down. Why? Because that stochastic has to cycle up. Both the K and the D will cycle up. I've been doing this so long. I've got all these charts. It's never failed me. Watch the hourly. Watch it. The hourly has time to burn. Is that going to go up 50? No. 60? No. but it's going to go up. You have the advanced decline 17 to 8. Right there, you know there's 2 stocks up for every 1 down. You're being led by NVIDIA, tech. You see it. You feel it. Okay, look around. More stocks going up and down. That's bullish. Okay. What day of the week is it? What day? It's a Friday. What happens on Friday? OpEx. But it's not just an OpEx. What is tomorrow, Tuesday morning? It's the end of the month. This is end of the month window dressing. It's gamma squeezing. It's performance gaming. They're going to chase the winners and they're going to sell the losers. They're going to curate. They're going to manicure and garden. So you have the window dressing phenomenon. You also have, and I don't even listen to data. Any data that comes out, I don't even follow data ups. I had to Skype Blake this morning and Dawn, like, what was the data drop? I don't even know. I don't even try. It's such a waste of time. The algorithms have completely hijacked the market. So data is irrelevant. All that matters is the slope. And the slope is up. And that's why that product's up. That product's up. Now, if the slope is down, likelihood what? The product's going to be down. NVIDIA, exception, because the hourly's up. They're buying the dips. But I'm going to show you some trades that I'm in. And you're like, oh my God, how is he making money in this market? Because all I'm doing is shorting what's going down. That's all. I'm not even that smart. I'm like, let the algos do it. Here, algo, make me money because they'll make you money. But you can't fight this until the K and the D period. You have to get the K and the D period. Both of these need to cycle up. So look where the sell is. I'm going to give you a little clue. That's a sell. That's a sell. Look, every time they converge, 100% when they converge at 80, 100% it tops. Is that a top? I'll rest my case. You might have to wait all day. And even then, it may not come down at all. At all. It may come down in the last hour, last half hour. But clearly, the powers that be who manipulate this market higher, the permeables who think, well, by the way, I absolutely love Brandon and Blake. Like, if you don't think I don't listen to them, you're wrong. They know as much, if not more, than I'll ever know. And I'm not an economics guy. I'm a finance geeky valuation guy. I'm a market guy. They're economics guys. And they know a lot. What they're telling you is the market is a bubble. Guys, it's a bubble, but doesn't mean it's going to burst. It's going to burst when the algorithms wreck it, because all your money managers are just spin liars. All they're telling you is everything's okay. This is the most expensive market virtually of all time. But that doesn't mean it's going to go down because they ain't run by people. It's run by machines, and machines are value agnostic. So money managers like, if the machines are defending, I'm going to get rich. Who can blame them? Who can blame them? But when it blows, and it'll blow eventually, okay, money managers are going to scratch their heads and go, should have gotten out earlier. Of course you should have. You're going to sell late, which is what you always do, and you're going to buy late, which is what you always do. For me, I can't buy this. I can't short it because I can't fight the machines, but I can't buy it because there's too much risk here. For me, I'm just kind of sitting in the background. I'm watching all this take place. I'm taking it all in, and I'm doing nothing today. Nothing. Yesterday, I did a little bit of buying, so let me give you a clue as to what I'm trading. By the way, I'll show you one more setup here. Here is the DMI. You know what the DMI is saying about the S&P on a daily basis, all of you home gamers? There's no trend. When you see the ADX below 18, that means that the market's totally non-trending. It means there's no chance of it going up, virtually none. But at the same time, there's no chance of it going down either. You're in a box. We may trade sideways from now until December. Every day may look like this unless that configuration changes in the DMI. And I am not exaggerating at all. You have to change the ADX. The DMI, DI plus and DI minus are joined at the hip. That simply means the market has no direction, zero. But because of the configuration of the hockey stick chart of the flag formation, see the flag formation? Here's your flagpole. See the flagpole? Flagpole, flag. That's what's known in the, ask Corey Rosenblum. Corey, where's Mr. Rosenblum? That's a bullish flag formation. That's why it goes. I just spit it up every day. They're trading the flag formation. Who can blame them? But this is telling you the market's going nowhere. It's just going to grind here for a while. Now, last one I want to show you. Take a look at the PSAR. See how this is parabolic up? That means it's totally unshortable. Did you short this? You just don't understand the business. You can't short that. It's parabolic. But see how the dots on the PSAR are getting closer and closer? as the dots threaten the price action, if the price action drops below the dots, it's now an official trend sell signal, even if the momentum hasn't caught up. So the momentum is wildly bullish. The trend is mildly bullish. And that's what keeps this elevated and looped up all the time. It's just a video game, people. So if you're going to talk about people, I don't want to hear, I don't even care. There are no people. It's machines who recognize patterns and recognize indicators and momentum engages and just go, let's just do what they get. That's all they do. If the market crashes, do you think the machines have like, oh, that stock's down so much? They couldn't care less. They'll wreck it to zero and below if that's the trend. There is no fundamental. There's no fundamentals in this market. It's dead. It's run by machines, and a bunch of people are looking up at the Fed like, there's Jerome, Jesus, let's see what we can do. That's all it is. Eventually, this will blow. The question is, are you going to get out in time? Now, what am I long? Like, what is he buying? I'll show you. I'm not, nothing to hide, nothing. Okay. And it's not sexy, but I'm not sexy. My wife thinks I am, but I don't care about sexy. I'm not interested. I just buy what's going up. That's what I own. It's just going up. I don't care. It's going up. That's what I'm buying. It's breaking out of a curated channel. UAL, which is the cheapest stock in the entire market. This is worth about $100. Okay, that's what I own. Breaking out. I'm just buying the algorithmic channels on breakouts, low PEs, and letting them run. That's what I own. I own Baxter. Look at my Baxter. By the way, Baxter's ex-dividend today. So Baxter opened down 29 bucks, and then it rallied like 50 cents. So this is actually adding 29 cents. So technically, it's up at 25 cents today. What's it doing? It's making higher highs. The stock is so cheap that if it went to 60, it would still be cheap. There's like lots of them. Like, here's another one. I don't want to buy this one. That's fine. I own it. You don't want to buy it? I'll just you sell it all to me. I'll buy it from you. Why would you sell a stock with a PE under 8? Why would you do this? All these stocks are in a PEs like under 10. They can go up for months, if not years. That's why I'm not breaking a sweat. I'm just waiting for what? The market to sell off so that when they panic sell and smartly sell the overpriced, they'll go in and buy the underpriced. The market hasn't done that for probably 2 years. COVID was like the last time when the market's like, oh, you know what? This is how to do it. Yeah, that's how you do it. You buy what's down. You don't buy what's up. All right. Last thing I want to throw out. Like, what am I short? It's my biggest short. Number one. Why is he short Shake Shack? I don't know. Because the stock's in a free fall. It's breaking the flag formation. MACD parabolic down. RSI breaking 50. Stoke down. Do you even have to ask me this question? Look at it. I'm not shorting what's up. I'm shorting what's going down. That's why I don't lose money on stuff like this. I can't short what's going up. Don't short what's going up. I keep telling this every day I come on. And I get emails every day. I should have listened. I told you, these are algos. You're fighting machines. You can't win that game. Not going to happen. All right. Moving upward and onward. By the way, Shake Shack, why am I short? Because it trades at 160 times earnings. That's just stupid. Ridiculous. The stock's not even worth $20. All right. Let's move upward and onward. Look, it has stocks made 40 cents at $100. Just stupid. All right. So let's move upward and onward, and let's get into AI, artificial intelligence. And I'll just throw up Dell Computer today because Dell's having a $2. Like the news media is like ultra bullish on Dell today because they had, decent numbers. I'm not bearish on Dell at all. I'm not at all. I have nothing against Dell whatsoever. I'm just trying to tell you, like, Dell, that they made the bulk of their earnings was AI. So I just throw this up there. There's no tech. We're going to do no technical analysis today. Not interested. But what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the game plan of part 2, and we're going to spend the next 45 minutes mining this out. It takes a long time. So the category is trends. Okay. And the title of today's program is called Attack of the Clones. And ironically, maybe not so ironically, Attack of the Clones was actually on TBS yesterday because they were showing a Star Wars marathon. And then before that, it's like, I forget the one before it. It's number 1, but it's number 2 in the George Lucas's Star Wars. So profiling the rise of artificial intelligence. Okay, so here's where we're going from here. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence from this perspective. I'm going to drop in a graphic today. Drop in a graphic. And we are going to knock this out of the park for a while. So I'm going to repeat the definition of AI. Like, what is AI? What the heck is it? Okay, two definitions. Artificial intelligence, let's just call it AI. AI is technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human learning, comprehension, problem solving, decision making, creativity, and autonomy. That's like a mouthful. That's a lot of things to swallow in one. That's exactly like the best definition I've ever heard. And that comes from an IBM website. I love that one. The other definition that I brought yesterday was, in the broadest sense, it's intelligence exhibited by machines, particularly computer systems, okay? And that it has multiple applications. Now, you're looking at the technology landscape of a lot of applications of AI. And I can't hit them all. I only got 40 minutes. I can't hit them all. But I'll cherry pick and curate the most important ones. And then eventually we'll translate them into trading, like trading ideas, because that's what you're all coming for. So let me bring you into the fold and talk about kind of like artificial intelligence. Now, I went through the entire timeline. It really got its feet like moving in 1950. Took a rise, a fall, died, funding died, and then it had a resurgence. Now there's funding. Now it's on fire. It's real. They're spectacular. You know, like from Seinfeld. It's the real deal. So here's the thing about artificial intelligence. Okay, there are many different like areas of artificial intelligence, and there are many different goals. The general problem of artificial intelligence or creating it has been broken into many sub-problems. Okay. And these consist of particular traits or capabilities that researchers expect an intelligent system to display. These traits, as you'll see, and I'll go through many of them, okay, are numerous. So I'll kind of walk you through a few of them at a time. Reasoning and problem solving. Reasoning and problem solving. So early researchers developed algorithms that imitated step-by-step reasoning that humans use when they solve puzzles or make logical deductions. So by the late 1980s and 1990s, okay, methods were developed for dealing with uncertain or incomplete information, employing concepts from probability and economics. So many of these algorithms, including ones in the market, are insufficient for solving large reasoning problems because they experience a combination or combinatorial explosion. Too many variables coming into the mix, integrated at the same time, cannot be sorted out, okay, simplified, connected, and converted into an algorithm. So that is one of the biggest challenges of AI. All the variables. How do you distill it? How do you simplify it? How do you put it into a model? And then how does that model then turn and start acting like a human to distinguish, separate, and problem solve? That is a massive problem for algorithms. That's like one of the biggest bugaboos right now. Many of these algorithms, okay, like I said, even humans, we rarely use step-by-step deduction that the early AI research model could actually model. So they solve most of their problems using fast, intuitive judgments. Accurate and efficient reasoning is an unsolved problem. Then there's what's called knowledge representation and knowledge engineering. They allow AI programs to answer questions intelligently and make decisions about real-world facts. Formal knowledge representations are used in content-based indexing and retrieval, scene interpretation, clinical decision report like your doctor, knowledge discovery like mining interesting and actionable inferences from large databases, social media, Meta, Facebook, and other areas. So a knowledge base is a body of knowledge represented in a form that can be used by a program. There actually is an ontology, which is like an ontology is like a decision tree. It's like connecting like a Pascal's triangle, is the set of objects, relations, concepts, and properties used by a particular domain of knowledge. Knowledge bases need to represent things such as objects, properties, categories, and relations between objects, situations, events, states, and time, causes and effects, etc. Knowledge about knowledge, what we know about other people know, correct? But there's also default reasoning, things that humans assume that are true, until they are told differently and will remain true even when the facts are changing, and many other aspects and domains of knowledge. So artificial intelligence, okay, isn't so black and white. It makes mistakes. So everyone, artificial intelligence is going to replace you. Yeah, well, if it replaces you, it's probably going to make a lot more mistakes than you will in the end. Remember that it could be trained or conditioned to make massive mistakes. Among the most difficult problems in knowledge representation are the breadth of what's called common sense knowledge. That you cannot teach to an algorithm. You cannot program common sense in an algorithm. It's the set of atomic facts the average person knows is enormous. And the sub-symbolic form of most common sense knowledge, much of what people know is not represented as facts or statements that they could express verbally. So knowledge isn't all about facts. Sometimes it's about intuition, it's about a feel, it's about a sense, and machines don't have it. Machines are not what I call, they may have deep learning, but they still can never fully replace the human being because they don't have a soul and they don't have a sense. There is also the difficulty of knowledge acquisition, the problem of obtaining knowledge or AI applications. Then you get down to planning and decision-making, right? And once you get down to planning and decision-making, it gets even more difficult. It like layers on. So the most popular form of the AI application has now come down to two areas: machine learning, which you see in the upper right-hand corner, and deep learning. So let me bring you into just learning in a larger sense, and then we'll narrow it down. What essentially people ask is, okay, what essentially is machine learning? Like, what is it? Machine learning specifically is the study of programs that can improve their performance on a given task automatically. So it's a refining process, it's a perfecting or an optimization process. It's been a part of AI from the very beginning. There are several kinds of machine learning, okay? First off, there's unsupervised learning, and that analyzes a stream of data and finds patterns and makes predictions without any other guidance. That is the entire, listen to me, TheoTRADE members, this is the entire epicenter of the stock market. That's it. Your entire stock market algorithms are about patterns that machines decipher, and then they start playing that same pattern over and over. What does it have to do with fundamentals? Nothing. So if the stock is worth 0, the machine will buy it if it detects a pattern. And if the stock is worth $100 a share, the machine will take it to 0 if it detects a pattern. It's completely divorced from reasoning, doesn't have any, has no common sense, cannot number crunch. It's all about patterns. This is what the machines are. They're unsupervised learning, which makes the stock market a completely unpredictable, like, bubble at times, and also cheap at times. That's why we need humans, because if you turn the market over to algos, okay, you can't price anything because they have no pricing mechanism. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Now, let me bring up another graphic, which I kind of brought in yesterday. Okay, deep learning, supervised learning, and unsupervised learning. So I'm just kind of like walking it through here. I'm having a bad day on one stock. All my other stocks are looking fairly tight today. So let me keep walking it through. Okay, so let me jump back onto my notes here and walk you through, okay, other parts of it. Now there's supervised learning. What's supervised? And this is the stuff you need to know. I've curated it, I've cherry-picked it, I've distilled it. Deep supervised, this is like the most important part of this discussion because it completely translates into market price behavior, okay? That's why I'm doing this. I'm not just doing it wildly. There's a method to my madness. Supervised learning requires a human to label the input data first and comes into two main varieties: either classification, where the program must learn to predict what category the input belongs in, and regression. I love regression, where the program must deduce a numeric function based on numeric input. Okay, that's supervised learning as opposed to unsupervised learning. Remember, the machines are about unsupervised learning and supervised learning, but primarily it's unsupervised, which means their data has no connection to valuations, cash flows, or fundamentals. And this is where it gets really dangerous because you're going to go out, trust a machine. I bought Lulu at 500. When Lulu goes to 90, you're like, damn, that stupid machine. Then don't listen to the machines. Don't start doing fundamental research. Don't blame the machines. Blame you for trusting machines because I don't like algos at all. I don't like this pattern recognition crap. I wish they would eradicate it. They would ban them and have humans trade only. That way, good vol, no manipulation, and it would force people who don't do research to do research. Next, reinforcement learning. What's that? In reinforcement learning, the agent is rewarded for good responses and punished for bad ones. So the agent learns to choose responses that are classified as, quote, good. Transfer learning, okay, which is another part of it. Transfer learning is when the knowledge gained from one problem is applied to a new problem. Deep learning, see deep learning up here? Deep learning, what is that? It's a type of machine learning that runs inputs through biologically inspired artificial neural networks for all these types of learning. So computational learning theory can assess learners by computational complexity, by sample complexity, and by how much data is required, or by other notions of optimization, which is what I call optimization, is what they call perfecting, okay? So let me bring this into your living room. So you see I'm going to bring this right to you because I'm trying to like get this down to get this under a half hour and see if we can kind of like make some really like good sense of this. Okay. So AI involves the technique to equip computers to emulate, copycat, mimic human behavior. They learn, they make decisions, recognize patterns, they replace us. So here is machine learning. They call it ML, the acronym. It's a subset of AI, which is what you're learning about. And this is what the market does. These are your algorithms in the market. They used advanced algorithms to detect patterns in large data sets, price action, volume, allowing machines to learn and adapt slopes, angled slopes, or numbers. And algorithms use supervised or unsupervised learning methods with which to make predictions, to move them in channels up, ascending channels. Do you see what I'm talking about? What you see every day in the market, this nonsense, this crap that we deal with, it's machines. CNBC, God, burn the channel. Please stop with the CNBC. They don't know what they're talking about. It's a machine. The machines are moving them in these beautiful, beautiful manicured channels. Look what's happening. It's incredible to watch. People, it's 99% machines that are doing deep learning, and they're also doing what's called machine learning. That's what they do. What's deep learning? It's a subset of machine learning. So you got this beautiful Venn diagram I laid out for you. Okay, this makes your life, that to me, like I've opened up the doors for you to understand how this works. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning. What does it do? It uses neural networks. Like all of us have neural networks. Our brain is neural for in-depth data processing and analytical tasks. DL, or deep learning, leverages multi-layers of artificial neural networks to extract high-level features from raw input data. It's simulating the way human brains perceive and understand the world. So now, the next generation of algorithms is going to be deep learning. Hopefully, it'll learn how to factor in value, please, because all it does is it takes data sets, and data sets are all about price. It's just price action, tick action, range bars. Okay, it has nothing to do with cash flows, book value. It has nothing to do with free cash flow. This is stuff that Blake and Brandon hit on. These machines are as dumb as a bag of rocks. They're stupid. All they can do is follow through what we programmed to do. At least if they're learning to, if they can make the quantum leap into deep learning to factor in technicals and fundamentals, I'd zip my mouth and say, okay, let's give it a chance. They haven't done that yet. They haven't. Then you have what's called generative AI. People are like, what's generative AI? That is a subset, it's like trickle down. It's a subset of deep learning. So artificial intelligence encompasses ML, DL, and GAI, all three. And the machine learning subset is deep learning. And then deep learning has a subset, which is generative AI. What is it? It's now a subset of deep learning models that generates context like text, like images, or code based on provided input. So NLPs, you know, that you've seen that were worthless, that Ken Griffin bought for 44,000, non-ton NFTs, non-fungible tokens, worthless. They were done by machines. They're worthless. The emperor's new clothes. Trained on vast data sets, these models detect patterns and create outputs without explicit instruction using a mix of supervised and unsupervised learning. So it's starting to like take the shape. So you see there's like iterative generations. This is one of the best graphics I could ever lay upon you to understand what you're up against. When you are trading this market, you are not trading against these machines, because if you are not going to survive. You have to trade with them. They have so much firepower. They can't flip the script. They can't flip the switch. They are programmed so strong to buy in such channels that no matter how bad, we could have come out with a PC, 10% inflation, we would have rallied anyways. It wouldn't even matter because the machines, they just hijacked it and took it over. It's all based upon slopes, people. I keep telling you this. And what are the machines doing? AI, to me, like, I'm opening up the playbook. And if you can make it to Scottsdale to the retreat, oh, heck, you're going to get an education like you've never bargained for. I promise you, you'll get a big education. So that's pretty much like the best way I could bring it to you. Now, the next other key area is called natural language processing, NLP. And you've got five categories. I can't hit them all. I don't have enough time. Context, content extraction, classification, machine translation, question answering, tech. There's a lot of layers here. This is the second most popular part of AI. Like, AI is going full throttle into ML. But the genesis, the beginning, the shoots, the green shoots, they definitely came from NLP. That's like the starting point. And it's got traction. This is gaining traction fast. This already has traction. So what's NLP? Natural language processing. It allows programs to read, write, and communicate in human languages, such as English. Specific problems include speech recognition, speech synthesis, machine translation, information extraction, information retrieval, and question answering. Okay, you know this. You can talk into your phone, Siri. You can press the speaker. Find me this, speech recognition. Or you can actually type in text and have it read it back to you. You can do it either, front or back, doesn't matter. Early work was based on Noam Chomsky's generative grammar and semantic networks. It had difficulty with word sense disambiguation unless restricted to small domains called microworlds due to common sense knowledge problems. Margaret Masterman believed it was meaning and not grammar that was the key to understanding languages. And the thesauri, which is the plural for thesaurus, right? We know what a thesaurus is, okay? Synonyms, antonyms, and not dictionaries should be the basis of computational language structure. Cool stuff. So NLP. What is NLP? Cool graphic, okay? NLP has basically 7 steps. Sentence segmentation, word tokenization, stemming, lemmatization, stop word analysis, dependency parsing, part of speech tagging. This is all from Alan Turing, who basically is the father of AI from the 50s. This was his step-by-step process to building out AI. It's obtuse. I don't want to get into it. But if you have a kid who wants a future, like, my son is so worried about a future, do this. Send him to DePaul, send him to Harvard, get him into engineering, get him into coding, and get him into NLP. He'll have a 6-figure job for the rest of his life. That I can promise you. That I'm telling you. Do it. Okay? The next part of NLP, okay, and I'm going to bring it to you. The next part of NLP is this. The evolution of NLP as brought to you by Alan Turing. So here is the past NLP. This is what it was. It was natural language generation into natural language text so that we could all grasp it. It's called intelligence. We can understand. Now here's the present as we're in it now. The present is simply this. We are now in a metamorphosis. We're in transition process where we're going to have natural language understanding, okay, linguistics. So instead of what you going word by word by word, the machines can actually take a word and build off that word. So instead of the evolution of a language saying the word dictionary, the machine will now say dictionary, thesaurus, lexicon, or the thing will say something like, well, the machine will say risk. Instead, the machine will be able to take risk and expand upon the vocabulary and say probability, risk, magnitude of gain or loss, uncertainty. It will start to act like, instead of a dictionary, it will start to act like a thesaurus, where it will expand upon words, expand upon pronouns, expand upon verbs, expand upon adjectives, and then it will start to connect those words. Do you see where I'm going with this? Instead of it being a robot saying, like, remember, like, you go back to the days in 1967, 70, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Yeah, that's called natural language generation. It can only say one word at a time. It can't substitute or replace words or expound or expand upon words. It can't do it. The next future is they're going to have phonology, the tone of the word, tone. Then they're going to have syntax, which is how the sentence is put together. They're going to have semantics, which is logic, how logic is connected. The evolution of NLP is from like caveman to Stephen Hawking. That's what they're doing. They're going to make the next evolution of AI literally, instead of it being 20% human, they want it 100% human. It thinks like a human. It speaks like a human. It moves like a human. It blinks like a human. Okay. And look at this. It's incredible. Morphology is the changing of like, shape. Pragmatics mean things of like being pragmatic, meaning clever or reasonable. That's reason. That's essence. It's insane what they're doing. They're taking every single dimension of a human being and they're turning it into a machine. So NLP is so crude. It's like super crude. This is like, whoa, this is like hyperactive ridiculously on the evolution scale, where it's even smarter than a human. That's where they're going to try. They're going to make it smarter than a human, that it not only replaces the human, but it's smarter. That's what the evolution of NLP, that's the direction they're taking it. That's why I brought this to you, because there are companies that specifically are dedicated and focused on one thing, NLP. So if you're like, what should I invest in? Stick around. I'll bring you into the fold. We'll talk about different AI companies that focus in certain areas, because they're not all cut out of the same cloth. Some just do AI deep learning. Some just do AI NLP. Some just do AI vision. Some just do AI medical health. It varies. It takes a village. So don't lock. The word AI is like a gigantic, big, broad, enveloping word. But underneath it, look at all the subcontext and divisions and areas. And look what it's layered. It's deep. Don't get so broad. Get specific. You'll look smarter. You'll feel smarter. Okay. That's what I'm taking you to. Next, I want to bring down here, like, certain things, like there are certain general intelligence techniques that they're trying to take you. So the general intelligence of the generative AI, like, where am I going with like the generative AI? Like, where am I supposed to take you on generative AI? Well, the answer is something that goes like this. Okay. There's search and optimization. What's that? AI can solve problems by intelligently searching through many possible solutions, not just one, but multiple solutions, and deciding on which is the optimal one. There are two very different kinds of search used in AI: state space search and local search. So state space search searches through a tree of possible states or conditions to find a global state. So we're not talking about states like California, New York, Florida, not those states. The general pejorative conceptual term of a state of mind or a condition. It'll search multiple states until it finds a goal state. And then it will go through exhaustive searches to make sure, and heuristics, which is a rule of thumb, to prioritize what are the states that meet or solve the problem that you're looking for. Now, a human being can do it, but a human being can never do it as fast as an algorithm. It's impossible. There's no way. It's the speed of the processor and the way they're dealing electricity and the way they're generating it, the neuron, you can forget it. You're not going to move as fast as them. Then you have a local search, which uses mathematical optimization. So instead of looking at a condition or a state, it translates everything into a number. So it'll go through multiple data sets, evolutionary, crunch it. Okay, it's called swarming, where they swarm they get it down, they deduct it, okay, they drive it down, process of elimination, and they get into what's called colony optimizations or trails, where they just follow mathematical paths to generate problems and answers. People, the future is scary, but it's exciting. The thing you have to understand is you can't turn away from this. You have to embrace it. If you turn away from this and not understand it, you miss opportunity to make money on both sides of the market, short and long, because some companies will fall dead on their face and fail. Other companies will succeed. So the more you know, the better off you are. But I just wanted to get that out. I want to take this graphic down, that there's a lot to this. But I want to jump in to what I call neural networks. So I'm going to take this one down. I'm going to put another one up, pardon me, because we mentioned neural networks. So what is a neural network? Okay, here is a neural network described by Investopedia, which is a generalized place you can grab it. Neural as in brain, how your brain works. It's a series of algorithms that endeavors to recognize underlying relationships in a series of data through a process that mimics the way the human brain operates. So the idea behind a neural network is this, is that the programmers who build out AI are trying to mimic a brain, the way an actual brain operates. You have to wrap your arms around and think to yourself, man, that is, how are they going to do that? It is a daunting, and I mean a ridiculously daunting task to try to build out and copycat a brain. But I'm going to bring a graphic to you to give you an idea of how they're doing it. So this is what they call the neural networks in data mining. Now, remember this. Data mining means you're curating, you're going through sets and sets and sets of data. And then you're cherry picking, you're organizing, you're splicing, you're dicing. Okay, think about Amazon World Services. It's a multi-billion-dollar business for Amazon. They make way more money there than they ever make doing the Amazon, I'm going to deliver and drop a pair of shoes at your house. That's nonsense. This is where they make their money. This is their edge. What they do is they data mine and they package it and they curate it and they organize it and they convert it into demographics. They package it, they sell it. They sell it to everybody. Social media sites. They sell it to food companies. They sell it to packaging companies. They sell it to logistics. They sell it everybody. IBM, Microsoft, Apple, they're all buying data. They're buying packets of data. But the data mining is the process of curating the data, how to organize it, how to simplify it, how to classify it, how to translate that into dollars, profits, sales, market share. This is the future. This is what everybody's running to NVIDIA. What does NVIDIA do? NVIDIA builds the processor chips that lead to the neural networks. This is why NVIDIA is so hot. Now you know. So here is kind of like a setup of kind of like a raw setup of kind of how it looks like. I'm doing the best I can not to look at my my stocks today. Oh God, I wanted to buy more of that SEE and it's just not doing me well. I can't. I'm gonna have to pay up for it. So on one side, you have what's called input layer. So this is all the data that it's just picture reams and reams of data. Then they have to kind of like take sample sets of data. These are each sample sets. There's, you know, whatever. This could be a birth date. Okay. It could be something like people who are buying Apple iPhones. Who knows? And then what they do is they funnel it into what's called layers, a hidden layer. Then eventually it goes through an algorithmic filtering process and comes out the other side into what's called an outer layer. So you have the inner layer, synthesize it, outer layer. It's kind of like you putting your clothes in a washing machine. The washing machine goes through a spin cycle, okay, pulls out all the dirt, cleans everything. Then you pull your clothes after the spin cycle's done and it's like stop spinning, and then you put it into the dryer. Yes, so it goes in one, out to the other. It's a cleansing process. It's a screening or filtering process. And so when it comes out the other side, okay, it then filters into a raw prediction. This to me makes me crap in my pants. Why? Because on the one hand, okay, it's optimized, it's fast, it's time saving. It could give you the right answer. In other words, you could go to a doctor and you could go through a screening process, spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of tests, Your insurance is going through the roof. You have to keep going to the doctor. The problem's not solved. And all of a sudden, through data mining neural networks, the doctors now through TeleDoc have a raw prediction answer that could nail exactly what condition you have, how to treat it, when to go to the hospital, what drugs to take, what's the medication, how long the process lasts for, okay, what's the after effects, side effect. Okay, that's the best part. What's the worst part? What if the raw prediction's wrong? You're leaving it in the hands of a machine to diagnose what's wrong with you, to diagnose how to solve a problem. Could the machine be wrong? Yes. Could the machine be right? Yes. What's the machine's ultimate goal? To mimic a human. But you can't mimic us. You don't have any blood. You don't have a heart. You don't have a soul. You don't have a sense. You can't feel and empathize with the patient. There's no human touch here. It's raw. It's soulless. It's cold. It's objective. It's detached. It may be right, but when it's wrong, okay, it's like a Pascal's triangle of ethics problems, legal problems, fiduciary problems. It's just unbelievable. So we're going to get into tomorrow, like the goals, the benefits, and have that debate. I promise, because it's a 4-day program. My goal is to take the impossible and make it simple for you. That's what I always. This is what I do best at Loyola. This is what I'm known for. I take the most impossible subjects and I water them down so literally a 4-year-old can understand it. I'm not impressed by complexity. I'm not. I'm impressed by simplicity. Taking Occam's razor, taking the most complex questions and generating a simple answer. Neural data mining networks is the next incredible generation. It's actually going to pass machine learning and NLP in the long run. That's its goal. That's what they want to happen ultimately. So I just wanted to bring that into the mix so you to understand, like, when people say, well, what things do I need to understand that are most important? Okay, what are most important? Neural networks, machine learning, NLP, natural language. Those are the 3 areas that have the greatest upside of AI that you need to explore. And the more you explore, the more you'll start to get familiarized and then look at things and say, yeah, I think I'm starting to get there. Now, I want to bring another graphic in here while I may. And this graphic blew me away. Like, if you wanted to see the ultimate in terms of how to organize all of what you see from a drop-down decision tree into a Venn diagram, this is it. Like AI, NLP, visual perception, reasoning, knowledge, programming. Okay. Then you got the machine learning, K-means. Okay. All of this is the branching point of all of AI. All of you should have a picture up on your wall, or you should have it somewhere in your computer, that whenever you research AI, it's got to have something like this: the Bozeman neural networks, CNN. These are the acronyms. These are the concepts. These are the buzzwords that drive all of AI. This is the best one I've ever seen that captures what AI simply does. Okay. And I'm not exaggerating at all. So, we talked about deep learning and the layers of deep learning. Okay. I want to talk about GPT. Why GPT? Well, I've hit on neural networks. I've hit on deep learning. I've hit on machine learning. GPT to me is ridiculously elusive. And people like, well, what do you mean by ridiculously elusive from this particular standpoint? GPT stands for, and again, you've heard that Chat GPT by Kaufman. You see Don talk about it. Here is what GPT actually means, the acronym. It means generative, like to generate, generative pre-trained transformers. Generative pre-trained transformers. They're large language models. They're called LLMs, not LLCs like limited liability companies. It's an LLM, large language models that generate text based on semantic relationships between words and sentences. Text-based GPT models are pre-trained on a large corpus of text, can be from the internet. The pre-training consists of predicting the next token, a token being usually a word, a subword, or a punctuation. Throughout this pre-training, GPT models accumulate knowledge about the world and can then generate human-like text by repeatedly predicting the next token. Typically, A subsequent training phase makes the model more truthful, useful, and harmless, usually with a technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLFH, reinforcement learning from human feedback. Current GPT models are prone to generating falsehoods called hallucinations, although this can be reduced with RLHF and quality data. They're used in chatbots, which allow people to ask a question or request a task in simple text. Now, you may not have gathered what I just I stipulated here. Listen to what I just said. Chat GPT is prone to stating falsehoods. How many people go into their phone? How about 1 billion every minute to call into Chat GPT, like Google, like Bing, Firefox, looking for an answer? And the Chat GPT spits out a falsehood or a hallucination because it's based upon data that's not verified. It's just taking data, connecting it through the text, through words, punctuation, and subwords, right? And it's becoming smarter and smarter. But again, the structure is in place. The problem is, do you trust the context? Is it truthful? Maybe. Maybe it's not. The problem is with the market, everybody's lazy. They turn on CNBC. CNBC gets its information from chatbots, and people assume CNBC to be the Bible of truth. Whereas in fact, those chatbots may be disseminating false information and people act on it. Are you going to blame CNBC? You can't do that because CNBC is going to push back and say, it's not our problem. It's a chatbot. Blame the chatbot. Sue the chatbot. And the chatbot's usually what? A third-party vendor. Is it CNBC's responsibility to have to check the chatbot? It's not. They're just paying people. They're paying a system to provide AI support services. The rest is on you. Whatever spits out of that chatbot, it's on you. That's where the whole world, okay, has a tremendous problem. This is where AI hits a wall, and it's never, ever going to be able to overcome that proverbial wall. What's true, what's not true. Some of it will be true, but not all of it. And that's where AI, okay, at some point, it's going to hit, it hasn't hit it's in a sweet spot. But eventually what's going to happen is we all know what's going to happen to AI. It's just like the internet. It's going to hit that point of inflection where AI peaks and just becomes what? Drinking water, eating breakfast. It's not sexy anymore. It's not unusual. It's not economies of scale to make money. It won't. Because AI can only take you so far. It can't take you all the way. Why? Because it's artificial. It's not real. That's the point I wanted to bring out with GPT. Okay, I'm not here to go to debate court. I'm just pointing out that there's a lot out there that people rely upon. And what I'm trying to tell you is, okay, tone it down, roll it in. Love NVIDIA, love what they're doing. Love the fact that Dell generated billions off of AI. But don't lean on these companies to think that AI is going to take them from $130 a share to $1,000. It won't. AI is already it's in the market. It's out there. It's almost like it's a Tesla. The first 5 years of Tesla, it was so cool and it was so edgy. It's electric. Now everybody does electric cars. After a while, all of AI is going to be a commodity. It's going to be literally like a boring subject that nobody's going to talk about anymore. It's going to be like the secondhand news all the time. It'll become mainstream. It's already becoming mainstream. It's already 2 to 3 years in the making, and it's overhyped. And right now, the companies are like, yeah, we're monetizing, but maybe they've already maxed out, because what happens is when you get this rich, when there's that much of a pool, everybody wants in on it. That's what capital, that's what, social Darwinism is. Entry, barriers to entry and entry into business. NVIDIA is toast because everybody's going to take NVIDIA's share and bring the company down because everybody wants a piece of the action. That's what happens. But to me, more or less, is the GPT is the issue that tells you that this is going to last for years, but it ain't going to last like 100 years. It won't. It's already probably in the 5th or 6th inning, already built out AI. And once it hits the 9th inning, it's like, well, where do we go from here? You better look for the next like AI something. So what are the other areas? okay, within artificial intelligence, okay, that are out there. Because tomorrow, on Tuesday, we're going to talk about like certain things beyond you know, training, and there are a lot of other things I want. Training, tuning. There's other things. Okay, AI can go into what, everybody? Health and medicine, games. So Xbox, you know, Microsoft, Sony, you know, video games, chess games, whatever games. Games is the next iteration. Mathematics. A lot of you should start like researching companies, consulting companies that do what? They procure their reservoirs of what? Of mathematical data. That's what Amazon does. Get the mathematics is like a step-by-step reasoning place where math then converts into decisions. So mathematics. Finance. What about finance? It's a big part of finance. All these big broker dealers, all the insurance companies, all the banks, they're literally cutting the fat. They're firing people all over the place. They don't need them. Why? Because the fastest growing sector of AI in finance is robo-advisors. It's a robot advisor. So world pensions experts like Nicholas Frizzelli insist that it's too early to see the emergence of innovative AI financial products and services. But he says at some point, they're going to unleash a wave where once they figure it out, it's going to literally get rid of 1/3 of Wall Street. It won't even exist. You'll call up and like, I want to talk to a broker. What broker? It's a machine now. The machine will take it. The machine will be the advisor. That's the next iterative generation. Military intelligence. So once we get beyond that, we're now going to get down to military intelligence. So the military AI is going to take over things like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Textron. What does Textron do? They build helicopters. I don't care. Eventually, everything is going to do what? It's going to be funneled into AI. So you've got finance, you've got math, retail, military. It's all pointing in one direction. And that direction is, okay, you need to find the companies whose niche fits that. So if you're going to research, I want to look up Raytheon. Go through Raytheon's financials. Go to the website of Raytheon. Look through it and say, what portion of the company is looking into, okay, here's Raytheon, RTX. Here's Raytheon, RTX Corporation. Go in, click on the link, go to the financials, come down here, look at what they say in Trephis. What part of their business is AI? Is it 50%? Then why the hell wouldn't you buy this? Because eventually it's going to convert into profitability. And defense is a big part of government. You need to start understanding. I'm giving you I'm giving the lead. The rest is all on you. All of you need to start doing your own research and going through agents. You've got military, you've got agents, industry-specific tax. There are so many areas of AI. Start to do the research. Now, come Tuesday, we're going 100% ethics. We're going to go into the benefits, the pros, the cons, the ethics, the benefits, and the legality. And then on Wednesday, we're going to do 100% companies, growth, estimates. People, I've compiled so much data. Give me some due here. I did it for you. It's not for me. It's for you. I want all of you to understand what AI is about and how to exploit it and how to avoid the pitfalls of it. And just get familiarized with all the key terminologies. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this over. And I didn't have a chance because, once again, I have a massively busy day to look at Dawn. Dawn's really good about laying out the game plan today. So let's take a look and we'll see what we have, who comes on next. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Blake Young is going to be up next. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to the market. I don't. But I'm wholly convinced that until the MACD rolls over, I'm not shorting that. I'm not. I'm happy with my short. Here's my short. I like this. It's getting better and better. Whee, Jeff McGee. Look at that. Look at that slope. What am I going to do? Nothing. Let the algos. Listen, I'm not that smart. The algos are doing all that. I'm not doing any damage. I'm just short. I'm just riding with the algos on a surfboard. Riding with them. You don't have that just yet. You're getting close. We're getting close, but we're not quite there. But give it time. If the market's in a topping process, my advice to you is get the hell out, Rock. Like, from the movie with Nicolas Cage, The Rock. People, this is so ridiculously overbought and so stupid that when it goes down through 5,000, don't say I didn't tell you so. It may not happen in 3 or 6 months, but when it goes through, I'm like, didn't I tell you? Market is ridiculously overpriced. Ridiculous. Blake and Brandon, I've already told you, don't trust a chart. Trust what the algos do. Once the algos break, you need to get out of this and you need to hedge it. Still waiting on Blake Young here. Good day. Now it's starting to get interesting on my short trades. The long trades are actually doing well. My SEE is holding its own pretty well. United Airlines has come in a little bit. It got higher, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to sell it. It's just too cheap. But in the meantime, Blake Young is going to take you to the end. Hey, Blake, I gotta tell you something. I gotta give you props. I actually logged on at 7:45 a.m. this morning and I listened to you and Brandon. I just don't know how long we can keep up this charade before the market corrects. We need a rate cut, but consumer spending is still high. Inflation hasn't gone up, but it's not coming down. It all seems like a mess to me that, you know, you're really good at it, like sorting through. So I'll just turn it over to you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's
Blake Young will
economics.
take you to the end of the day.
To the end of the day. Wow. I don't think I
I'm
want to
just
do
kidding.
that.
Just the next hour. See you later.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good weekend. All right. Give us 1 second, everybody. We'll do the changeover. And we'll get going.